Good evening and salutations, my Y&R fans. I'm gonna be honest, this was a pretty decent episode. This was a really, I wouldn't say like amazing, but this was a really decent episode. And yeah, I will still give the win to Days. But if I had to sit in and choose my second favorite, honestly, I'm still gonna give it to Y&R. I don't know what the hell they were doing on GH. It's still just like beyond me. Um, But in some ways, I'm gonna give it to Wyatt. Amani, I'm gonna be honest. Even when I wasn't watching this show that much, and I saw previews of Amani constantly hitting on Nate, she pissed me off. Okay, she pissed me off. But you know what? Here's the thing. As much of a snake as she's been acting so far, you know, for somebody who comes across as seeming like they're intelligent, got their stuff together, it's like this dude doesn't really understand when he's either being played, when he is doing things he shouldn't be doing as a boyfriend. Okay? I feel like if Elena was doing the same things that Nate was doing, he would be so pissed off and angry. And I'm gonna get to Elena in a minute because she. Uh, so Amani is because Nate is sitting there talking about work and everything like that, and Amani's like, yeah, I wouldn't sit there and just let him disrespect you like that. He's sitting there disrespecting you, and he shouldn't be sitting there treating you like that, like you're an underling, and this, that, and the third. I'm like, you know, at work there is a hierarchy. There is a hierarchy. He brought him into this job. He's been making mistakes, okay, and they're not little mistakes, okay. They're mistakes that makes the company look bad, okay. So he can't just sit there and I want to sit to say play favoritism or anything like that, but I guess in a way he kind of is by hiring him, to go above other people, depending on how many employees you got at that place. But, he can't reprimand him and use kid gloves, like he doesn't do that for his other employees. Why should he do it for him? So I get that. And to some extent, I do understand where people are coming from who will sit there and defend Nate's position. Because in some ways, yeah, I can understand how it comes across like he's talking down to him. Oh, you're messing up a lot. I may have to sit there and try to find you a mentor or something like that. I get that. Okay. I do. I get that. But, you're reporting to him. He is above you in this job. So he can't. I mean, I don't want to sit there and say you can't treat him like an equal because in some ways you should. But like, if you're messing up this bad, he doesn't have time to sit there and be, teaching you how to do this, teaching you how to do that, and you are constantly just stepping above the line. And they've even admitted that he's been doing that. Okay, he says he's been doing it out of excitement or whatever. I'm like, you've still been doing that. He doesn't have time to sit there and be doing, like guiding him. So I mean, maybe mentor is kind of a bad word, but it seems like he may need a little more training before, he could just start making these calls without giving his, getting Davon's approval. But this chick is not there trying to make it seem like it is all Davon's fault. She is definitely gaslighting this guy, and he is just going right along with it. Hell, he actually even came out his mouth and said, I feel like in some ways he's holding me back. I'm sorry, what? Did you really just sit there and say that Devon in some ways is holding him back? Who's been screwing up since day one? Like, honestly, tell you, I was waiting for Elena to come in there, because she did sit there and say something before about that to Nate, and Nate tried to make it seem like she was the bad guy. I'm like, what? What? So there's, I feel like she's gonna sit there and want to get him in trouble because she's all like, oh, well, you need to sit there and do something that's very bold and, just totally unexpected. You need to sit there and just really go for it. I'm like, all right, bro, you let this chick gas up your head if you want. You let her gas up your head if you want. I sit there and hope you can get your old job back. For real. Um, I feel like Elena shouldn't even been there talking to Devon about work business. First of all, I don't even think that she works there yet. And she snipped there, asked some questions like, oh, I just want to know what's going on between you and Nate and everything like that. And Devon's like, you know what? I really don't want to get into this. I'd rather you not really like go into this. And of course, she tries to make it seem like, oh, are y'all having friction because of me? Because of the stuff that I did back in the day? Sweetheart, the world doesn't revolve around you. Like, it doesn't revolve around you. The fact that she actually said that just came across as so egotistical, you know? Oh, does attention have anything to do with me? What? Hmm. So after that, and he's like, no, it's just, we're having a bit of tension. He's kind of jumping the gun on a lot of things, and he's making a lot of these early mistakes that's making the company look bad. I don't want to call her a dumbass, but it was a dumb, stupid, idiotic, asinine thing to start telling Devon, oh, well, he's not some sort of wet behind the ear person, some first year business student or whatever. You shouldn't be sitting there treating him like that. And I was like, sweetheart, you don't work here, okay? You don't work here. I understand. I love the ride or die attitude to sit there and tell him, oh, don't treat my man like that. I love it in theory, okay? There's a fine line between theory and reality. And reality is you overstepped. Okay, she seriously overstepped, and she had this look on her face like she was convinced she was doing the right thing. And then waiting for him to sit there and reply, I was like, I you you realize how stupid you look, right? Like, and just for so many different reasons. Hmm. So that was something. You got Phyllis that they're trying to convince um Billy that her motives are true, that working at Marquetti is just working with her daughter, and I'm not sniffed after Diane, and after talking to Jack, I mean, because Jack was there, he was brief, and I will sit there. You know what? Let me talk about Jack real quick. So apparently this week, and I think it was yesterday, Jack hired Adam, and Billy was not happy. He was like, "Yo, listen, this dude is you can't trust him. Okay, he's literally a scorpion or a snake. You can't trust this guy." Jack's like, "No, I know what I'm doing." So against Billy's wishes, his position stays if he decides to come aboard. And Jack left. Phyllis came there. Phyllis is there talking about, oh, I just want to work with my daughter, this, that, and the third. Apparently, Billy and Diane are somewhat friends, or like he's willing to give her a second chance. And Phyllis is not there whining, all like, in some ways whining, because she's like, oh well, you give Diane a chance, you give Adam a chance, and you give everyone else a chance, and like I'm at the bottom, and I'm like, bro, you screw up your relationship with Jack because you wanted to go after Diane for stuff that happened 20 something years ago, okay, 20 something years ago. And granted, she even admits like, let's I messed up, and I'm like, and yet you're still going with this dumbass plan because I don't know, you three women have nothing else better to do with your time. And of course, Billy was not buying this. Okay, he was like, "You're going after her, like you're going after Diane. You're not going to sit there and just sell the hotel, something that you worked, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, to just work with Summer." It's like I don't buy it. He, he literally, even though I guess they're not really that cool anymore, he was like, "Yo, listen." He gave her so many reasons of why not to do it. On top of that, Summer getting caught in the crossfire, her losing the hotel to go off on this venture of going after revenge, like, haven't you lost enough? You would sit there and think of all the reps, even if I didn't know this dude, and I just watched this for the first time. And granted, I guess in some ways, like, I kind of am, because I don't know the dynamics and, their relationship or past relationship or whatever. Like, well, you might want to listen to him. Okay? I get you don't really like him, you're not on good terms. You should listen to him. Of course, she doesn't. She talks to Nikki. And Nikki is like, I'm having concerns. I don't know the details. And more importantly, she wants to make sure um that Phyllis gets it done. Like, I know you need to think about your daughter, but you really need to get this done. It's almost like Cynthia saying, like, yeah, I don't want you to consider Summer your daughter's feelings, or if she's caught in collateral damage. The fastest way to do it is just to get it done. It's like I don't know how to sit there and put it, but in some ways, I guess I don't know how much of an example this is. It's almost like Cynthia telling a cop, go in there and take out that guy. But sir, there's hostages. Yeah, I understand that. But the fastest way to save those hostages is just go in there and go after them, guns blazing, hold no bars, or hold no prisoners, or whatever. Just go in there, guns blazing, and just take them out, sir. I'm pretty sure that there may be some hostages and civilians in the way. I don't care. That's literally how I felt like Nikki was meant to be talking to Phyllis. And Phyllis was like, yo, listen, just to be clear, I'm the one that's doing all the work. So how about y'all just sit back and shut up and let me rock? Nikki wasn't there talking to um, Abby. Yep. I know the other Abby's gone, but she's been a mainstay for a while, so it takes me a second to kind of get used to another Abby. But yeah, she was talking to Abby, and they were talking about the case. Or talking about Chase and, you know, making sure that this thing gets done and wrapped up in the most efficient way possible. And Nikki said something along the lines of, well, do you really think it's a good idea? Like, basically, Cynthia is saying that Chase should just let this go. And instead of Abby kind of being like, yo, listen, my husband's job, like, that's his integrity. He's not just going to sit there and just. Because she kept Cynthia saying, like, well, the longer this investigation goes on, the more harder it is for Victoria to sit there and heal. And I'm like, I'm sorry, sweetheart. It almost sounds like you want him to compromise his job to make your daughter feel better. I would sit there and say, what world do you live in? But you clearly live in a land of rich, entitled privilege. Okay? And the fact that she said that, and Abby was like, wait, are you sitting there telling me that, like, that Chance shouldn't be sitting there doing his job or whatever and investigating this? And Nikki was like, well, don't you think it would be best for everyone? No, you idiot. I think it would be best for him to actually do his job, has it, have his integrity, and not sit there and try to rush this or just kind of end this quick to make your daughter feel better. And the fact that she didn't say anything about that, like she didn't call her out and be like, "Yo, listen, I know we're a family, but that's my husband right there. Like we ride or die. Like I'm not having him compromise his integrity just to make my sister feel better. What are you nuts?" But um, she didn't say that. And later on, when she was there talking to Devon, that's one of the things she was talking about was Chance and the investigation and how her sister's doing. And I'm like, I don't understand how that just went over her head. But again, I don't really. Well, I know just I haven't really watched this show. Like, I feel like sometimes trying to play catch up to some of the stuff that they do. Like, I just I don't understand how she would just let something like that just go unchecked unless she's just vapid. That's the only thing that I can sit there and understand. I don't understand why Kyle. Okay, I don't understand why Summer agreed to hire Phyllis. It's not like, okay, it's one thing if they both weren't working at Marquette. They both decided they want to work there, right? And The son and his daughter, they should have been like, nope, we're not doing it because we're not going to have you work with this person and that person. And then, I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, well, it made sense for Kyle to hire Diane because Phyllis wasn't there. Now Diane's there, and Summer's like, no, I think I should sit there and hire my mother too. I want to sit there and work with her. I mean, I totally trust her not to sit there and try to sabotage Diane because, she's holding grudges that happened like 20 some years ago. No, it's going to be fine. It's just so dumb. It's just so dumb. And, later on when they wound up meeting up, they kind of realized, like, yeah, just kind of recipe for a disaster, but we'll sit there and hopefully that they'll work together and be better for the family. And if not, then we'll sit there and put our foot down. You could have just put your foot down by not hiring Phyllis. Diane was already working there, and you're gonna sit there and so I understand that it's there for drama, but I'm like, I feel like there's drama enough with her not working there. She already has a plan to sabotage her. Come up with another plan. Oh wait, the plot matters before anything else. No, Phyllis, you should totally work there. Summer, is a great thing that you had her work there. Okay, so Diane is not there talking to Summer and basically being like, you do realize that your mother only is working there to sit there and sabotage me, right? Well, she assured me that she's not going to do it. And I told her, and I'm not going to sit there and tell you, no fighting at the workplace. In my imagination, did you just totally ignore what her concerns was when she is telling you that your mother is there to sabotage her? She's only there to sabotage her. No? No? Okay, cool. It literally went on deaf ears. Um, you know, yes, I'm gonna be a dick. Can somebody remind me why people like Tessa Mariah? I don't get it. I heard that Mariah had a great storyline back in the day. As far as being kidnapped and everything like that. I heard she had a really great storyline back in the day. I don't know what the hell they're doing with her now. But anyway, Mariah is asking Kyle to um, but I heard a meow. So every now and then, I hear a meow at my window. And usually, when I feed the cat stops meowing. I actually have food there, just in case, because I think it was one time I didn't have any food, and that's all I kept hearing. So, I thought I heard that. Anyway, so Mariah's not there asking Kyle for a test to sit there and work at Marquetti to be a model and stuff like that. And, she's like, well, he's like, well, I gotta sit there and talk it over with Summer, but, we'll see. It seems like it works in a line as far as new faces and stuff like that. And apparently, Tess is like a famous singer and stuff like that, so it'll be really good for the company. I get that they gotta sit there and make sure that each other are okay with it, but I don't see why Summer would sit there and say, nah, nah, we're not going to do it. But I get it, unity and everything like that. That was pretty much about it. They didn't really do anything else. They talked a little bit about Diane and Phyllis working together, I think. Yeah, they talked about that. Honestly, to tell you the truth, this was more of a filler than anything else. I, I know on JLJ Media, James is always sitting there talking to Tess Mariah. Always got the inside scoop. People like he really likes those characters, and like his numbers do really well whenever he interviews them. I just don't understand what people see in them. But you know what? Hey, listen, different strokes for different folks. Um, yeah, yeah, I feel like that's about it. Really do. I know this video came out super late. I'm gonna sit there and try to push it out tomorrow a little bit sooner. I don't know, somewhere in this episode when I was watching it, and as decent as this episode was, I felt like, like when I was all like, 28 minutes. I was kind of just like, is, is this thing over yet? It just kept going and going and going and going and going. And, but, I was like, I wasn't too sure about even doing a review, but I said I was going to do a review. I put it in my post. So I was like, you know what, listen, I do got some thought. I do got some thoughts I want to sit there and put out there. I mean, some thoughts. I do got some. I did have some stuff to say. See, now I'm at a point almost you can't even talk. I did have something to say, some stuff to say about this episode. So I was like, when I started off the video, I was gonna sit there and be like, here's just my quick thoughts. But well, it's 20 minutes. There's not a damn thing that's quick about that. Uh, anyway, with that being said, let me just throw some in the comment section below. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see everyone in the next video.